There we go. Now we're recording.
Okay. So we just read the statement. So now I don't know if the first item is discussion of Spirit Committee structure, operations, and responsibilities. This is Christy and Alan. So if you guys want to start or talk.
Sure. So we just wanted to meet with all of you. I talked to Roberta over the summer, and we just talked about sort of the development of the committee. I know that last year we had also met with members of your committee to discuss sort of what the mission and the goals are of the committee, especially as it transitioned from the 300th anniversary celebration to the Spirit Committee that you are today. And then, in that time, we added Maureen and Jen as staff, but people who we thought could be really helpful to your committee. And then Gary's also joined you. Forgive me, I don't remember when everyone else has come on, but I think now that you're at a full membership, it's really exciting for this committee. And, unfortunately, it's during the time of COVID, so maybe you can't be as active as you hope to be, but we just wanted to touch base with this committee and really talk about, I guess, kind of what it means to be a committee and what you might be looking at going forward. So one of the things that we wanted, you're one of the very few committees that actually has funding. So you have the money that's left over from the 300th anniversary committee. And so that's really important. Any expenditure of that money has to be a vote of the committee. So you can't expend any of that money without a vote of a full vote of the committee. As such, your committee should be meeting monthly at minimum. So you can be going over different things that are coming up, different activities that you want to get involved in. Potentially, you would be inviting people in who may have approached you for some of that money. An example of that, I know this year, I had planned to approach you for some of that money if we were going to do the town hall trick or treat again, because last year all of the town staff bought the candy and we expected a lot more people. So that's just an example. I'm not asking you for money right now because we don't intend to do that event this year, unfortunately. So you would, at your first meeting of the fiscal year, we would expect that you would elect a chair and a vice chair. Obviously, you have to take minutes at all of your meetings, so you should have a secretary that's taking minutes. Jen did this for you for this meeting, but all of your agendas have to be posted 48 hours in advance with the town clerk. And then all of your minutes should also be posted on the website. One of the things that I think your committee might run into that other committees don't run into is you might be approached as an individual about different opportunities for getting involved in different activities in the town. And so what's really important is that you take those opportunities back to the full committee and get the committee's support to be involved as a committee. Because what we don't want is, individual members getting involved in these activities and the full committee not having sort of a say or an opportunity to get involved in whatever opportunities come your way. So that could be, anything. I know some of the things that you've gotten involved in recently is like the graduation parade. Going forward, that would be something that you would decide as a committee, and then you would all understand sort of the roles and responsibilities of that involvement and have the opportunity to participate in whatever way the committee chooses. So that's just an example. One of the other things I wanted to mention was just some different activities that I think could really benefit from the Spirit Committee. So one is the town hall trick or treat, which, like I said, we're not doing this year. One thing that's coming up, and I think Jen is the right person to really talk about this, is the winter stroll and what that's going to look like, especially in times of COVID. I know we were all really excited about what that was going to look like last year. It was going to be different, and I think this committee could take on, I know that I don't think you had enough members last year to really participate as a committee, but I think going forward you would. And we were really excited that it was going to be sort of bigger than it ever had been, and then I think we had really bad weather, right, Jen? and now we have COVID. So we'll have to figure that
Okay.
out. The 4th of July block party might be another example. I don't know if, the seniors are going to want another graduation parade, even if there's no COVID, but I can tell you that my little kids were like, we really would love a graduation parade someday when they watched it because they thought it was so much fun. The spring festival is something that we've talked about this committee getting involved in. And then, one of the things we talked about last year was where are there holes in sort of bringing the town together, because that's really, what we've talked about in terms of what this group is about, and it's about bringing the town together. And so, one of the things that you might not know is that the golf course is actually effective January 1st is going to come under the recreation department. And so I don't want to take anything away from Jen, but I think that, you might talk to her about what winter activities might be available, or, whatever it is as a committee, because there isn't anything that I can think of that's sort of in that January, February time period that everyone would come together. So, and I know I've talked to a few of you individually. I know you all have really great ideas, but I think, making sure that you're meeting regularly, putting out ideas as a committee, making sure that you're supporting other events in town. So not necessarily planning events that would impact other events, but supporting them, and then sort of finding ways to come together, maybe little ways or big ways, when there's sort of, I don't know, holes in the schedule. And this is really, Maureen and Jen can tell you, like, this is a really big opportunity to be creative with COVID. And so I'm sure that any thoughts you have, would be welcome. So that's really what I wanted to talk to you about. I know Alan has some more.
Okay, and then I've got some other ideas or suggestions that have been shared that I'll go over again, but I did also want to sort of talk about the expectations for the committee from my seat on, is representing the Board of Selectmen, which is the appointing body. And that, really the goal was to continue the spirit and the success of the 300 celebration. And quite honestly, the committee's had, for a number of different reasons, some rough spots here, and hasn't really yet, in our eyes, been functioning to its full potential. So when we talk about, expectations and what we're looking for, it's important to know that, in making all of these appointments to the committee, that the Board of Selectmen is looking for people who are enthusiastic, want to be involved, and are willing to do the work. And that said, for a committee to operate successfully, everybody needs to be heard and listened to. Ideas need to be considered. Everybody needs opportunities to participate. And as you undertake projects and activities, everyone at some point should have their chance to lead efforts and initiatives, particularly ones that they're tied to or idea, their ideas or that they're passionate about. Remember that this committee, like all committee, will succeed or fail as a team, and that it's a team effort. And so as the members of the committee and having been appointed, we're looking for you to work together, act as a team, as a committee, and move forward in a way that's productive. As Christy always mentioned, I want to reiterate that all activities undertaken by the committee need to be discussed and voted on by the committee, and that should be represented in the agendas and in the minutes. It is possible to create subgroups or small teams that don't comprise a quorum of the Spirit Committee to work on specific projects or initiatives, but again, that doing so is a decision of the full committee in a full meeting. And participation in groups and projects has to be equitable across the members. So, please keep that in mind as we go forward. This committee is somewhat unique among, our own town committees, as well as even, you look at other towns and committees they have and they don't have. It's sort of unique to have an ongoing Spirit Committee. And so, going forward, the expectation of the board is that this committee is going to function well and be productive and effective. I will say now, if that can't happen, then the funds from the 300th committee will move into holding until we have a 325th committee, and this committee will be put on hiatus. Because if it's not going to be able to run and move forward effectively, and have the committee working as a team to achieve your goals, then there's no reason to have the committee. Okay. So that's sort of, that's the bad cop side of things. The good cop side of things, back in July, I had sent Roberta an email. I don't know if she shared it with the whole committee at that time, talking about potential activities for the fall and into the winter season. Christy mentioned the town trick or treat and the winter stroll. There have been suggestions to partner up with the Westborough Community Land Trust to do a trail walk and cleanup, or a fall cleanup day, much like the Land Trust does for Earth Day every spring. As traffic is happening around town, we see the empty water bottles and the bags of drive-through food on the side of the road, and that kind of a cleanup. They were able to do it with social distancing in the spring very successfully, so that could be a fall activity or an early winter activity for folks to get involved with. Additionally, I know Rotary is leading the fundraising effort for the COVID-19 Relief Fund, and is part of that process in the overall COVID-19 relief effort for the town. So there may be an opportunity to support those efforts as well for this committee. So those are some of the other ideas that have been brought to the table for your consideration.
We know that you've been on sort of a summer hiatus, COVID hiatus, and so we thought that this was a good meeting for us to just sort of check back in with the committee now that you're at full membership, and express, the things that we've mentioned today, but then also answer any questions that any of you might have.
I do. Oh, how do I unmute this? Oh, it's unmuted. Okay, sorry. I do have a question, just as someone, I'm new to committees in general, and I'm new to this committee. But obviously, is there like a list of bylaws and rules that we have to follow? Because I'd just love to be as knowledgeable as possible so that I know what is allowed and isn't. Like tonight, I didn't know we weren't allowed to meet here. Things like that.
So the Board of Selectmen is working on a committee handbook, but it's not complete yet. In general, boards and committees, when you're sworn in, you get the ethics law, the open meeting law, and so those things obviously are really important to follow. I would say that in terms of the remote meetings, that's obviously very new. And so where we say in the beginning that there's no in-person attendance, that's where it sort of created some confusion to be in a public space. So I think that
I just thought because it's an open meeting, I didn't think it was that's what I mean. I just want to educate myself.
Sure.
I don't know if the rest of the committee, you guys probably all know. I just haven't been on a committee before, so I just want to make sure I'm following the rules.
Yep, we do have, the selectmen adopted a policy on remote meetings when this whole thing started. And so we can make sure that you have a copy of that. You all
Great.
have a copy of it, yep. Does anyone have any other questions about anything we said? No.
I know. Well, they know you can't talk.
Do you have the email about the potential activities?
We can send an email. I just jotted notes down, but I think, yeah, that's helpful to send. I don't know who's taking
No,
minutes.
that's okay. I jotted some notes. That's fine.
Sure. Did Roberta want to say something? I feel bad. I can see that you wanted to say something, Roberta, but.
You can't.
You can do the chat. I don't know if you can on a phone, but there's a chat option if you wanted to type something. That might be more work than it's worth.
Technology. Chat.
Okay,
Oh, there you go.
all right. Well, we don't want to take up your whole meeting, but
Are you good, Roberta? Are you gonna try to type something?
She's
or-
typing. She's
Oh, okay.
typing.
oh, okay, okay,
You're good? Okay, she's good for now.
okay. All right.
Great.
All right. Well, thanks for letting us join you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks.
Bye.
I never got the agenda, so I don't know what.
There's only one other thing. It's just to vote on a president, a vice president, and a secretary.
And so, are you currently the secretary, Jen?
I was last time, and I just kept doing it. But Christy's right. We do need to revote on all of this.
Is it? I don't want to like step on toes. Is that something that you want to keep doing, or?
Happy to share. I don't have to do it.
I'm
It's
still.
just I think it started too when I got voted in. I think there were 4 of us, Roberta. So literally there were 3 positions and 4 people. So it
Yeah.
was like I don't have any special talents. It was just the numbers game. Happy to, if you want to get some experience posting and taking minutes, happy to release the reins out.
I would
I've
have
done
to
it for a
learn.
few years.
Yeah, I'd have to learn how to do it. Just maybe shadow you or a couple times, just so I know what I'm doing. But and then how do we vote? Do we just like say a name or like, hey, I'm running for this position, and then everybody raises their hands?
Well,
like,
someone would make a motion to appoint you as the committee secretary. Someone would second it, and then we would go. I think I'm still hazy on video voting, but I think we do a roll call vote. It would be like Maureen, yes, Jen, yeah, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Is there no treasurer, guys? We're not doing treasurer. It doesn't say treasurer. Do we not need one, Roberta? No.
When we had so when I was the secretary, we had paid a couple of bills, and that's the other thing, Courtney. I don't know, and then that's another reason why it was just you'd have to come to town hall to. I think we said the secretary was going to just pay the bills. And it's easy for me because I'm right there in town hall, but it's not that you can't do it. It's very easy. Town hall's open, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So, I mean, it's accessible. You can do it. So that's just, I think we kind of lumped that in with the secretary just because at the time there wasn't a ton of activity. Maybe as time goes on and we're, fundraising or taking more money in, paying more money out, there might be a need for an actual treasurer, but those are just my thoughts. Someone else can chime in.
I think that was the discussion we had back then, Jen, because it was like you and I were new on the committee, and it was there just wasn't a lot happening, so there really wasn't a need.
Right.
And since the town manages all of the money, they hold all of the money. It's not like we need to manage a bank account or anything like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So tonight we need to vote on chair, vice chair, and secretary. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want me to tell them that? Sorry. Roberta wants to run for chair.
Okay.
I was just going to make a motion to nominate Roberta for chairperson.
Do you want to appoint? Maybe is better. You want to make
is it
a motion
appoint?
to appoint? Okay.
I'll second that.
Third, I guess. I don't know. I don't know.
And then
Now we'll do a roll call vote. So Jen, yes. And then Patricia, you're next on my screen.
Yes.
Courtney, you're next.
Yes.
Gary.
Sure. Well, I actually think that after a thing is a nomination and then a second, there's supposed to be discussion.
Oh yes, you're right, Gary. See, you're more well versed in this than I am. So yes.
And so
discussion.
my only reason to bring that up
Well, I'm happy you did.
is nothing against Roberta at all. Okay. I'd like to get a sense of who would like to be the vice chair or the chair of vice, as the case may be. That's a joke. And then the secretary, so that we make sure that we're making an informed decision as best we can and not just going down a list and then all of a sudden we're at the end and it's like, well, this didn't work.
Yep.
So,
That's fair.
so that's my only concern. Again, nothing about Roberta at all. I've already voted sure, so she's got my vote. But I don't have a clue who might want to do vice chair, and I don't know if secretary is Jen for another term, Courtney because she seems to have some interest, or someone else. I just don't know. So I'm just asking the question.
I'm interested in being appointed vice chair, if that's helpful.
Yay. Okay.
I am not interested in being vice chair again.
Winnie? Anything?
So I second, I mean, I say yes for the chair for Roberta and vice chair for Maureen. Yeah.
But did you have any interest in secretary or vice chair? You're happy with Maureen and
Oh, me? Oh,
no,
sorry.
Winnie, sorry.
I think I
It's
think
okay.
you did a good job in the secretary. So I'm happy to be the liaison person and helping out everyone when needed. So I'm happy like as is.
How about you, Gary?
Actually, I'm on Westborough Connects and I'm struggling mightily to do that role. So I would not put my hat into the ring unless I was the last person standing.
I love your honesty, Gary.
No, it's just I'm dead right now, and it's hard to appreciate. You know, COVID was supposed to kill real estate, and if anything, it's accelerated. So I'm trying to keep my head above water.
All right.
Well, I second Maureen for vice chair.
So I think we were closing with, that was just a discussion on the chair person, the chair, is that the right word? Yeah. So if there's any other discussion around Roberta being the chair. Okay.
All good here. You're
So
good.
no more discussion. So let's do that again. We'll do a roll call vote. Jen, yes. Patricia?
Yes.
Maureen?
Yes.
Winnie?
Yes.
Gary?
Sure,
Courtney?
we'll make it yes. We'll make it
Yeah.
yes for the record.
Yes.
Courtney was that, yes. Roberta?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's 6-0, 6 present. All right, now we need a motion to put Maureen as the vice.
I second that.
Someone needs to just make the motion.
I make a motion to
Oh, okay.
put Maureen Amia as the vice chair of the steering committee.
I second that.
Okay. All right, so Jen, yes. Patty?
Yes.
Roberta? Yes. Courtney?
Yes.
Gary?
Yes.
Winnie?
Yes.
And Maureen?
Yes.
Yay. All right, and then, so now we need to do secretary. So someone can make the motion for Courtney, were you fine to do that, or what did you?
Well, I don't know if it'd be smarter for me to just kind of like shadow you for a term. How long is it? A year? Just so I can learn the ins and outs and figure all that out. So like keep you on if you are, want to stay on.
Nope,
and then
that's
I can
fine.
learn from you. I just want to, understand what each role is and all that fun stuff.
Nope, that's smart. Okay.
I nominate, or I make a motion to appoint Jen as the secretary for the Spirit Committee.
And I second that.
All right, so then we go around. Patty?
Yes.
Roberta?
Thumbs up from
Yeah.
Roberta.
Courtney?
Yes.
Gary?
Yes.
Winnie?
Yes.
Maureen?
Yes.
Jen, yes. Thanks. All right, so that's out of the way. That's good. So that was the last thing on the agenda. So I guess we'll just plan to meet monthly, like Christy had said and Alan had said. Next month, maybe we can just kind of nail down some specific things. We'll be coming right up on the holiday stroll, so that'll be a good discussion.
Can we schedule a date and a clear time for the next meeting?
I know, I'm
Yes.
sorry about the time. I'm not a good,
No,
maybe
no,
I'm not a
no,
good
but-
secretary. No, but
That's I think that's why some people were at the House of Pizza. It was just something to do for an hour.
sure. Let's
Hey, Jen, we've all posted it at the wrong time or forgotten to post it.
Thanks. And I
Don't
called
worry.
Debbie too, and I was like, so how big of a deal is this? And she was like, you really should gotta meet at 7. I'm like, all right. So what nights work for people?
Tuesday. Roberta's saying Tuesday or Wednesday.
Wednesday works better for me.
Wednesday?
Yeah, I like Wednesdays as well.
Okay.
Wednesday is good for me as long as it's not the 4th Wednesday, because that's when the library trustees meet. But any other Wednesday of the month is fine.
Okay. Do we want to do the like the middle of the month, like the 14th? Well, that's in 2 weeks. I don't know. What do we think?
Or October 21st.
Yeah, 21st.
Works.
Okay. What time is good for people?
6 o'clock.
Okay. 6 p.m.
So we're doing the 21st, just for my own calendar here.
Yep.
At 6.
Yep.
A Zoom still, we think, maybe?
Yeah, I don't think we can really meet in person. I know Christy had kind of touched on the fact that some smaller committees have been eager to maybe meet socially distanced, but I don't think we're there yet. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
So let's plan on a Zoom for October.
All right.
Yeah, it's someone this is my first meeting. I kind of felt like I don't know, for lack of a better term, got scolded. And I'm not going to say whether that's appropriate or not, since it's my first meeting. But if there are all these rules that you can't sit next to each other at the House of Pizza to attend a meeting or whatever, I think it's important that we're clear on that, because I don't intentionally want to be a bad boy. I'm happy to do it otherwise.
Yeah, it's hard. The municipal world is full of rules and regulations, especially surrounding meetings and open meeting laws and stuff like that. And especially with COVID and all of this new virtual stuff, I think we're all kind of learning as we go. But I think it had come up before about meeting and trying to sit somewhere, and it's just not, we don't want the public aren't supposed to be attending. So if you're in a public space, how does that look?
That's why I think I
point-
was confused, because it is an open meeting. That's why I thought, why does it matter if we're in public, if it's something, because like people are allowed to sit in on the meetings, right? That's where I was like, I'm with you. Like I felt a little like I was getting in trouble, and I don't know about anyone else, but like if I wasn't told that from the get-go, how would I know? You know, I never got like that, what Christy was saying, like an ethics form or whatever.
When you got sworn in, they didn't give you the little packet?
No. It was, I went in front of them and they were like, all right, you're good.
Well, that's weird, because I even get them, and I've been on a bunch, and I'm like, you could save a tree.
Courtney, have you been officially sworn in?
Go in there.
Like you had to go to the town clerk's office, raise your right hand?
Oh
and-
no, I went in front of the Board of Selectmen.
Right, so now,
And then I
right, so
went
now
to
you
the
have to
meeting.
go to Wendy in the or Debbie in the town clerk's office, get sworn in, you raise your right hand, you sign something, and then they're gonna give you some paperwork.
Yeah, that's who gave it to me when I got sworn in.
Same here.
To me, it happened like this year. I was renewing through email.
Yeah, renewing is different because you've
Yeah,
already
the first time I
got
was
all the
sworn in, yeah.
paperwork. Yeah, the first time it's all
Okay.
like in person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, and again, like with stuff that it seemed like we were getting in trouble for, I was a little confused, but I didn't want to argue with them. But like the, emails went out for all the, activities that we've done during COVID. Obviously, it's only been really the senior parade and very limited thing, you know, maybe the one thing. And I feel like everyone was on the same page about that, but then it sounded like we were getting in trouble. So I was a little confused tonight and didn't feel super great, but
I think it's just, you know, more of like, we're kind of starting fresh. There's more new people, just keeping everyone on the straight and narrow. That's what I think. I don't know. I don't think we did anything wrong yet.
yeah.
Damn.
So, all right. So the 21st at 6 p.m., I'll post that for the right time. Either Maureen or I. Maureen, do you have the Zoom link? As mine will only let us do 40.
No, I have the unlimited Zoom, so I'll set that up and send it out. I'll wait till it gets closer to send it out so we don't have to like go looking for it when it is a month away.
Awesome. All right. Well, it was good to see everyone. So the meeting is adjourned. What, 7? Motion to adjourn. We have to take a vote on that. I think we do.
So moved.
Okay.
Second that.
All in favor? We're all good? All right, 7:41. All right, see everyone in a month or so.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye,
Yes.
everyone.
Bye.